prophecy in paintings, leading up to a painting that was prophetic about the coronavirus. But let me begin by talking about two other paintings that I've done in the last 2 years, about 5 years, last 4 or 5 years, that show prophecy and a little bit about past lives. When I was, so let me begin. When I was 25, I went to a psychic named Brock Elkhorn. He told me that I had lived many lives in the Caribbean. And recently I went to the Caribbean, I went to the Grand Cayman, and I went on a tour group, and we swam with, well, basically fed, and we're surrounded by maybe 20, 30 stingrays, about 3 feet wide. And then I remembered that in one of my paintings that I did about 4 years ago, called African Goddess, I had a woman floating with stingrays. And that was recently purchased by a collector in Brooklyn. And I thought about how, maybe I did live a past life in Grand Cayman. Then I went to the museum they have there, and they had a picture of a rodent. And this rodent's a little bit unusual. It kind of has a big backside, kind of cute big backside. And I remember snapping a photo of this rodent in New Orleans Zoo. And what I did with that photo is I put it in my a different painting called Female Mystic. This painting is all about Indian goddess and how she listens to nature, and there's a mirror there with a woman inside the mirror who represents they're symbolic of another level of reality. This was inspired, this actual part of the painting, the woman in the mirror, was inspired by Goya's painting of a woman in a carriage. But with the rodent, I had the backside, but I couldn't tell. I had that in the painting, but I couldn't see the face, so I kind of improvised. But at the Grand Cayman, I'm like, no, this was the rodent. So that gave me another feeling that, oh, maybe I did live a past life in the Grand Cayman. Actually, the influence for the title was when I was about 18, I took a train, Amtrak train, from Chicago to the East Coast. And I was lucky enough to sit next to an astrologer, and he did my chart. And he showed me all the different energies of my chart, and he showed me how if I used my energy for lower purposes, let's say I could be an addict, or if I used it for higher purposes, I could be a psychic or a mystic. So that's why I titled the piece Female Mystic. Because I always thought the idea of being a mystic was so really cool, really a great thing. So now getting to the painting that was inspired by, well, maybe I say inspired, but was prophetic of the coronavirus. After we got back from the Grand Cayman, my husband and we sometimes collaborate on pieces, like this piece behind me. This is called Art Goddess. He usually puts more of a 3D dimension to my work. So what he did was he made these people on the canvas. He first started with paper and then covered them with the canvas. Then I painted on it, but I didn't want to paint over the people for some reason. And every time I showed it to anybody, they said to me, "It looks like ghosts." And we started painting it in like January, February, but I believe that like when I heard about the coronavirus, I wasn't really worried here in the United States. I just thought it would stay in China. But in my painting, it actually kind of shows with a dripping of paint dripping on people. It reminds me of a virus, like a virus in the air dripping on people. So there's a close-up. Close-up of the people getting hit. Hit. The different paint. Someone just getting hit. Someone dying. Drops. It almost seems like this person's tossing it, but they're also getting hit by the virus. This one almost looks like an Egyptian. So there you are. Thank you. And so, you know, just from my experiences, my previous experiences, I think this is a prophecy, and I believe that, you know, there's a lot of people who have different prophecies in their paintings, or different, you know, things come up from their unconscious. So I'm glad that I was able to share that with you. Thanks. Okay. All right. If you like this video, please like it. If you'd like to hear more about the genesis of our paintings and learn about different techniques for your own artwork, anyone can use, subscribe. Thank you very much.